Are we live, Nicholas?
I think so. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe
I'm
fuck
gonna, I'm gonna,
yourself.
I'm gonna tell you something, Nicholas. I had that winter vomiting disease. Not to get too graphic,
You already did.
but I'm gonna tell you something. The other thing is aptly named. Aptly fucking named. Holy smokes. I hate missing a show. I hate missing a program. I could not physically be on the air. I've had a few flu games. I'm pretty tough, but I tell you what, that I couldn't do. And I would like to say, Nicholas, that I thought you carried the program with grace and dignity. Um, but I cannot tell a lie. I did not chop down the cherry tree, Nicholas. I can't in good faith say that you carried yourself with grace and dignity. But you
Oh,
did do an adequate job um
hmm.
of telling our wonderful readers of the books that were dropped that week, even though you mispronounced a few things. That's okay, Nicholas. I
Oh
respect
no,
the
Joe. I think I got the black lung. You're gonna have to do it by yourself. Oh no, I'm gonna be.
I got
You can't see me now. Oh shit, I'm
I
not
got the black lung pop. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, TLDR Studios proudly presents to you the greatest, the healthiest, and the most kick assest podcasting team in the world. Here's the comic book writer, Nick Friar. I am Tenacious Doc, and together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club. Baby, I really wanted to showcase my lungs there to show and prove to everyone that I am healthy as a fox. So we just wrapped up a Friarside chat, folks, with one of my favorite creators. See how I did that without batting an
unfazed.
eyelash?
Unfazed. Even though you made your healthy as a fox, whatever the fuck that is. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
good job.
I tend to think foxes are healthy. I don't know.
It's healthy as
You
an
know,
ox, but okay. Well done, though.
fox, fox.
I honestly, you know what? If I did that to you 6 months ago, maybe longer, I don't know, you would have been rattled at some point in all of that, even in your fucking intro. Well done, sir. I'm like nicely done. You are fully back at it. But yes, we just got done chatting with Joe Mulvey, of course, doing a lot of art over on Thundercats. Terminator, a bunch of stuff over at Comic Tribe, including Grogor and Shanks, which we got a chance to already check out that first volume. That was doubly, not just fully funded, doubly funded over on Kickstarter. Another John Lee's joint over at Kickstarter. He is just crushing it over there. But there's going to be a lot more Grogor and Shanks coming down the line. But we had a great time talking with him, not just about his artwork, but also comics in general, just the landscape and everything. Probably with the exception of Kyle Starks, the most sports talk that we've done in a given episode. We definitely have some creators that we've had on that like to delve into some sports here and there. But we could have done a lot of that with Joe Mulvey for sure, Doc.
Oh, we could have gone another full hour talking sports, no doubt. And the thing I loved most about Joe, and for those who will listen to the chat, is that when he gets excited, you can hear that New York. That New York comes out. And it was great to shit on the Jets because whenever I'm down and out and I'm feeling a little you know, oh man, a little woe is me. I remind myself, well, it could be worse. Could be a Jets fan. So loved having Joe on. That was a lot of fun. And I look forward to having him on again.
And if you guys only watch us on Instagram Live or over on our YouTube channel, first of all, subscribe there if you haven't already for one of our audio channel listeners. But if you only watch us when we do What's New or Solicits or the occasional mainline episode or our Floppy Awards, which we're going to be doing coming up right around New Year's Eve, if you only watch us, make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels as well, because that's the only place you're going to find our Friarside chats, which are conversations with creators across the industry. Primarily, we do that with writers, but Joe is, of course, an artist, so we got a chance to talk to him about that side of the business. Obviously, a very important part of the business, but all those creators tend to be a little bit busier than writers who are able to juggle multiple stories at a time and then go and do a little bit of promoting for the books that they're working on. So, had a great time chatting with Joe, and I'll tell you right now, we we have some. I'm thinking, what is it? What in the fire? No, we're not stoking the flames. I can't think of the saying that I'm trying to say, but we got some feelers out there.
Fingers in many pies.
Fingers in many pies. There you go. That also works. I can't think of something in the flame, something in the fire. I can't think of what it is. But anyways, we got some people that we've been talking to about interviews, and we'll leave it at that. So make sure to subscribe to one of our audio channels. And while you're there, leave a 5-star rating and review. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of Tenacious Doc. We got quite a few books to get to this week. Really good week from Image in particular. We'll get into that. There's a lot of books that we're not even talking about from Image this week that we could dig into. But first, Joe, you got a little bit of catching up that you wanted to highlight here.
Yeah, I first read this book way back when. Many irons in the fire. There we go.
That's what it is.
There it is. Nick kind of stroked out during the interview with the chat with Joe, and it's no surprise he stroked that again here. But I read Dead Samurai.
I'm sick again. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh no. What are the people gonna do? They're gonna enjoy me even more because that's what the people come here for, Nicholas. But I had read Dead Samurai, written by System of a Down's John Dolmayan. And it was awesome. It was a book that I just sort of I saw the cover art for, and it was tremendous. Read it, absolutely loved it. But there was some time in between issues, and Newbury Comics didn't necessarily have them right away. But I was able to grab the last several issues, and so I'm all caught up on Dead Samurai, and that is an absolutely fantastic series. So if you're at your local comic book shop and you see it, grab it. Can't recommend it enough. But we are talking about comics dropping this week for New Comic Book Day, December 17th. So we will kick things off with Marvel Comics. First up, we have the Avengers issue 33, the Zdeno Chara issue. See, Nicholas didn't miss a fucking beat, baby.
I was trying to find a sounder to use on you, and I was really bugging the shit out of me. But...
keep tonight. You're warm. You're
red hot.
I don't even know what that is.
That is from the American Duos episode, season 2 of Psych. Tremendous episode with guest host Tim Curry. Are you looking for the Suck It Davey sound?
No, we have. I didn't know you guys.
Oh wait, there's there's a Deep Dick Davey sounder on.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Oh wait, amazing. Here it is.
I loved it.
Yeah, there it is.
I loved it.
I didn't know that. Wes used to have stuff in here, and I can't find it. Like he had like the flute sound from the Green Power Ranger, and that's what I was hoping to do, just like while I was off screen, out of nowhere, just to fuck with you. But it wasn't working for me.
Bud, I have another podcast. We talk Psych. We're through 7 seasons of Psych, baby. Yes. I've heard it both ways. You can find it anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Love Psych. Huge Psych fan. And I love that Bud is also a Psych fan as well. But from Marvel for New Comic Book Day, December 17th. I can't believe how fast December's gone by. Nicholas, I've been so flipping busy each and every weekend. I'm very excited for Christmas. And happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate as well. Marvel Comics, we have the Avengers issue 33, Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu issue 15. God bless you. The Mortal Thor issue 5, Black Cat issue 5, The Amazing Spider-Man Torn issue 3, X-Men Book of Revelation issue 3, Daredevil Punisher The Devil's Trigger issue 2. I meant to read this issue, just didn't get to it. That's Jimmy Palmiotti, right?
Jimmy Palmiotti, Tommaso Bianchini, and then Gabriel Guzman. The one thing I do want to say about this, because I did get a chance to read both of these issues, I really like the way that the creative team is utilizing the Punisher, and also how they're also pushing Daredevil's principles. It's top notch. It's making for like an entertaining plot, but more than anything, I would say it's been a great character study to this point.
Love that. Love. Yeah, first issue was outstanding. Radioactive Spider-Man issue 3, Rogue Storm issue 3, The Last Wolverine issue 3, Planet She-Hulk issue 2, Alien vs. Captain America issue 2, Star Wars Jedi Knights issue 10, Omega Kids issue 3, Battle World issue 4, Strange Tales issue 3, and Black Panther Intergalactic Planetary. Black Panther Intergalactic issue 1.
So this is a little bit of a spoiler for our chat with Joe Mulvey, which I'm planning on dropping, I think, on Friday. So not the Monday before Christmas Eve, but a little bit sooner than that. Uh, he mentioned how he likes how you pronounce some of the titles a little bit differently than most would, and I think it's a calling card for the show at this point now. Did you just say Captain America though?
Damn right I did.
That's a new one. That's a first.
I was channeling my inner W. Bush, who with every passing day makes me look back and go, yeah, he wasn't so bad.
Oh man.
Hello, America. Didn't see you there. You caught me mending my fences. Mostly, I love Will Ferrell doing George W. Bush.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, but seriously, I was like, wait a second. Did he say America? Because I don't think I've heard. We haven't done that on here. Not that I can recall.
No, anyway, I don't think so.
Moving on, from DC, we got Absolute Flash issue 10, Nightwing issue 133, Batman Superman World's Finest issue 46, Titans issue 30, Wonder Woman issue 28, Superman The Kryptonite Spectrum issue 5, Superman Unlimited issue 8, Catwoman issue 82, The Batman The Second Night issue 2, DC KO Harley Quinn versus Zatanna issue 1. I'm going to go through these next two here too, Joe. From Boom, we got VR Troopers issue 5 and VR Troopers Power Rangers Flipbook Facsimile edition issue 4. And from Dark Horse, we have, I struggle with that one. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was not bad. Not bad, Nicholas.
I appreciate it. We have Nocturnals, The Sinister Path issue 4. The Adventures of Lumen N, Lumen N issue, getting me tongue-tied there, issue 4, and then Space Scouts, which I read that first issue. I got to check out this second issue as well. Issue 2, that's a Matt Kitt joint.
All right, so from Medcave, so Medcave and Image with Dynamite, those were the primary drivers for new issue or for comics this week. You know, as we get closer to Christmas and the end of the year, we're starting to see things get pared down a smidge here, but from Mad Cave, we have Dick Tracy issue 14, Liquidator issue 2, The New Space Age issue 1, and then 2 books that we want to discuss, both from the same writer. I'll go first, Nicholas, because I just absolutely love, this series and sort of this world now as a whole, and that's Racer X issue 4.
I loved it.
Written by Mark Russell, with art by Nuno. What I loved about this issue of Racer X is that it really tied into the last issue of Speed Racer, and I just love this character because there's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of this character sort of coming into their own, and the fact that the struggle with having to keep his identity secret, and the way this issue in particular ends, right? There was a lot of sort of internal struggle and internal conflict there, and again, I think Mark Russell, we had this chat with Joe and sort of talking about nostalgic books, and one thing that sort of hit me that I didn't mention when we were talking with him, but I'll mention here now, is that we are seeing this new wave of these nostalgia books sort of, just taking off. And I don't mean to call them like nostalgia books, because I think there's positives, maybe a little bit of a negative connotation there.
Sure.
But these titles, they're really nostalgic and title only, right? They're taking properties that like maybe existed a few decades ago, or or maybe when we were younger, and sort of bringing them back to the forefront. But as Joe said, like these creators that have sort of taken these characters and these properties, grabbing the bull by the horn, so to speak, have really just made it their own, and brought to these properties what they bring to their other books. Because I think in the past it's sort of been like, oh hey, yeah, I'll write that, and it'll be a paycheck sort of thing, right? And these properties just sort of come and go, and you might get an arc here, an arc there, or a run here, a run there, but maybe they don't grab you. But, like, I feel like what Mark Russell's done here with Racer X, what Dave Pepos has done with Captain Planet, with, Speed Racer, what other these other creators have done with these other books. Shelby with, Thundercats and whatnot, is that it's really made them their own and
Mhm.
brought what they're so good at, to writing to these properties and not shied away from the fact that, yeah, I'm writing Speed Racer and I'm fucking proud as shit of it, proud as hell of it, I'm writing Thundercats. I'm proud as hell of it, and I love that. And so it's been a lot of fun reading comics this year and Racer X in particularly because I never thought I would have read a Speed Racer book, let alone a spin-off of one.
Mhm.
And I love Mark Russell as a writer, and you're going to talk about another book of his in a second. We always talk about how Mark is so good at satire, but also sort of playing on modern themes, and doing a lot of social commentary without beating you over the head with it. Right. So Racer X is not an example of that, but it's just it's Mark Russell just sort of writing really awesome stuff. And so I absolutely love this issue. I love this series. I love the Speed Racer title in general, and I love that that especially this issue really tied in with the last Speed Racer issue as well, and just enhancing that world.
Yeah, and another thing for me that this issue did was like if it wasn't already clear, Racer X is a series for older brothers. It hit me
Mhm.
just right in this issue. It's been there the whole time, but this really hammered it home, and I was just like, fuck, man, I love this. And like, if you're an older sibling and you haven't been checking this out, or if you have an older sibling that you think might like this or reads comics and maybe they haven't told you that they're reading this, you need to hand this to them because this is just like it really hits if they have that like a good relationship with one of their or all of their younger siblings, it's going to hit just right. I don't know if I'm about older sisters necessarily, but obviously it's not like exclusive to just older brothers. But it really like for me hit in that sweet spot with this issue especially. So yeah, Racer X, we've both been loving this series. Both all the Speed Racer universe type stuff that they've been doing over at Mad Cave. We've been having a lot of fun. Speaking of Mark Russell, as you mentioned, he's been doing this anthology series. Last issue, was it Mark London that did the last issue, or was it March that did the last issue? It was not Mark Russell that did Terabytes.
Oh, right.
He did issue 3. The artist on this is Alberto Ponticelli, and I'm going to tell you right now. So on the main cover, you can see very clearly that like Mark Russell, like his name is prominently there. But when I looked at this, I didn't look down and see the credits right away. I just saw what was written across the top, and it was on a scale of 9 to 10. How would you rate your
Oh,
prison
yeah.
experience? And I
Yeah, yeah.
saw that, and I saw terabytes above that, and I was like, if Mark Russell didn't fucking write this, I will eat my hat. There's no way that he did not write this. And then my eyes scrolled down, and I was like, yep, 100%. And if there's ever a time, like, I don't know how often writers are involved in creations of like covers, but if there's ever a time that I would bet, like, oh yeah, like the writer had to have a say in this one, it would be Terabytes issue 3 because like that's Mark Russell, 100%. It was I knew right away what I was getting into, and what's brilliant about this issue too, this whole series we've been loving. Issue 2 was friggin' outstanding. Issue 1 was great. Like 2 for both of us really rocked our worlds. For this one, what's so brilliant about it, again, is like with Mark Russell's writing, is it's very clearly a commentary on prison system and technology as well. But there's also something else that's not being discussed like so plainly in this issue that it can be extrapolated to another major issue that is plaguing like everybody else in at least America. And I was just like, damn, man, like you have this focus here, but I see another area where it translates so well. And I was really, really impressed by that. This is again like terabytes. We've been saying this about with some anthology series quite a bit, where recently where it's like between this and I think more so than anything, Terminator Metal, just among recent stuff. If you just hand this to somebody, like they need, it's been outstanding. They should just check this single issue out. It's been so good, and Terabytes has been that with all 3 of the first 3 issues, just like Terminator Metal has. You're muted. Well done, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank-
Thank you. Well, because I was looking something up earlier. I didn't want to hear people hear me clanking on the keyboard.
Oh, that's good of you. Thank you very much.
I loved
You're
it.
welcome. Thank you.
And now you're back. I'm
Uh,
going to use that a lot now. I'm telling you right now.
What I love about this series, right, is that you could read each individual issue without having had read. It just they work perfectly standalone issues, but there's still like that connective tissue between each issue, right? In terms of like,
Right.
you've got these sort of wandering robots, sort of like in this post-apocalyptic, Earth, trying to figure out what the hell happened, and then like a story is told in that issue, and I love this particular issue, and especially revolving around this prisoner, how he got to prison, which was wild, and then what happened from there. I was looking it up earlier, so it looks like Mark London's writing issues 2 and issues 4, and Mark Russell's writing issues 1, 3, and 5.
Okay. Got it.
So they're
Okay.
sort of alternating. So that's why I was like, because I knew Mark Russell wrote the first issue for show. But that's what I love about it, right? Is like there's that connective tissue, but you don't need it at the same time. Now I'm sure that will all sort of get wrapped up together in a great bow in issue
Yeah.
5. But so far, like each story that's been told is a standalone story that is, the social commentary is terrifying. And at the same time, again, you're not being browbeaten, and hitting over the head with it. You're just reading like this great sci-fi. They're just like great little sci-fi short stories, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see how they all come together.
I would go so far as to say too, when it comes to Terabytes is a great example, but it's not exclusive to Terabytes. That when we have the nostalgia books that we're loving right now, then we have all the big two stuff and what's going on there, especially with the Absolute Universe and how DC's kicking ass in that regard. But then there's all the creator owned stuff, which is our favorite work. And one of the things that's so awesome about creator owned stuff is like there's a clear voice, and then there's like this like punk in your face nature where it's like, yes, you're not getting like beaten over the head with it, but at the same time, it's very clear what's being discussed, and the creative swings that are like that can be taken are just it's awesome because we're getting new stories, like we're getting new experiences, but we're also talking about real shit in interesting ways. And I think with Terabytes, like this is an example of like if you have stuff that's like been stressing you out, like here's a way to like have a story that talks about it. So like maybe you're not feeling alone. You're seeing somebody poking fun at it, like all this different stuff. There's so like that's why one of the many reasons why I think comics is the best medium, because it's like yes, there's like a lot of control in certain areas, but there's a lot of other areas where it's like no, you can. There's a lot of freedom from a story standpoint. In Terabytes 2-3 is a microcosm of that.
Yeah, excellent stuff.
All right, moving over to Oni. What do we got?
All right, from Oni, we have Catacomb of Torment, issue 6, High Strangeness, issue 3, Adventure Time, come on, Jake the dog and Finn the human, it's Adventure Time. Love the cartoon, fantastic. Haven't read the comic yet, but we have Adventure Time, the Bubbling College Special, Deluxe Edition, issue 3, and then there was a book from Oni Nicholas that you would like to discuss.
Yes, the final issue of Yuletide. It's issue 3. This is by George Northey and Rachel Aragno. But so this is issue 3, and as much as it is a mini series, each issue's been a double-sized issue. So you're basically getting like 6 whenever the collected edition comes out. You're basically getting 6 issues worth of story. And I really enjoyed this series. I stand by, like, if you're trying to get like a Stranger Things itch, obviously like the 5th season has begun, but at the same time, I'm sure everybody's kind of, except for Joe, is sitting here waiting for the next episodes to drop. But even then, like if you just like, I need more of that, Yuletide's going to provide that for you. And with this final issue, I think I'm going to do a full-fledged episode on this at some point down the line. But with this final issue, we get this one last twist that is perfect, especially for a holiday season story. Like I did not see it coming, but it all added up perfectly. And in general, like just as like a overarching statement about Yuletide. It's a great mix of humor, spookiness, and heart. And from a publishing standpoint, this started in October, went into November, and then December, and it's like a spooky, like holiday season story. I don't think you could have Oni could have timed it up perfectly for when this whole thing was gonna start and conclude. Had me in the entire time, so I really enjoyed Yuletide.
Love that. Love that. Why don't you take us to the next few there, Sir Nicholas?
All right, from AWA Studios, we got Aggie issue 1, another Mark Russell joint, which is illustrated by ACO and David Lorenzo. From IDW, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones issue 3, which is written by friend of the show Alex Packnadel. Then we got Starship Godzilla issue 3, TMNT Journeys issue 4, Star Trek The Last Starship issue 3, 30 Days of Night Falling Sun issue 2, which I believe is by friend of the show Rodney Barnes. Then we got Monster High World's Scare issue 5. From Distillery, we got Endeavor issue 2. From Titan, we got Conan the Barbarian issue 27. The Savage Sword of Conan Reforged issue 2. And from Ignition, we got No Place issue 2.
I would maybe make my emphasis Conan. You know,
That's
I
you're
like
moving the
Conan.
goalposts on me now. That's bullshit. Check the tape. Joe Mulvey, go check the tape. That's bullshit.
Conan.
I can't keep up with you and your
No,
nonsense.
you can't. Let's wrap things up here. From Dynamite, we have Supernatural issue 3, Space Ghost issue 6. That's written by Pep, good friend Pep, David Pepos. We have Harley Quinn, Elvira issue 3, Vampirilla issue 8, Gargoyles, Demona issue 5, Sonya Reborn issue 4, which I think I have to go back and read issue 3 as well. Dynamite, Blood Red issue 3, Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt issue 2, Thundercats Holiday Special 2025 issue 1, which I have to go back and reread, or reread, I should say. And then finally, wrapping things up here from Image and Skybound. Image, like you know what? And everyone else, light this week. We're gonna fucking throw the kitchen goddamn sink at you.
Yep.
We have GI Joe issue 16, World Tree issue 17. A lot to take in that issue. Holy smokes! King Spawn issue 51, The Power Fantasy issue 14, The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 127, The Sacrificers issue 18, Ghost Pepper issue 6, Rogue Sun issue 31, which I didn't get a chance to read. I definitely have to do that.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Yes. Very
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I got to read that. It was a busy, we Saturday night we went to Wellesley and it was the Festival of Trees, and then we went out to dinner afterwards, and then Sunday I took the family to go to the Boston Ballet to see the Nutcracker. So not a lot of time for reading comics this week. So I definitely have to go back and read a few books. I missed the Patriots game. I told my daughter, I said, I must love you. I bought 1:30 matinee Sunday tickets to see, the ballet. So yeah,
I'm looking
good
back
dad.
at some of these first pages, and there's some kick-ass art. Oh yeah, I forgot about the final page. I'm looking at this, and it's like, wait a second, wait a minute. Yeah, this is a really good issue.
Yeah.
Although Dylan pissed me off a little bit here, and I don't think I'll be alone in that once you read this.
Okay. Don't spoil it. Salmon Twitch Case Files issue 20, Kaya issue 32, Young Blood Mass Market Edition issue 2, Artificial issue 4. That was the finale of Maria Lovett's series. Again, excellent. The Author of Mortal issue 3. This is a wild series. Let's see. Good as Dead issue 4, Hectoplasm Hunt for the Bigfoot issue 3. A book that will be market right now. I'm telling you, folks, right now, this is my gem of the week. Wrestle Heist issue 1, written and drawn by Kyle Starks. This issue is fucking fantastic. I'm not going to dive too much into it because it's my gem, but like, if you're a wrestling fan, this is absolutely the book for you. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you're going to have a ton of fun reading it. But if you are, there was a lot of great little Easter eggs, especially in the background art that Kyle did here. He put a lot a lot of work, and not that he doesn't put a lot of work into his other books, but like you could tell, like he had a lot of fun writing this one.
I
And
am not
then
real quick. Because I'm not gonna be weighing in on the gem. I am not a wrestling guy, so I didn't get the Easter eggs and anything. But I am all in on Sterling Steel and Golden Boy Bucky Hansen. Oh my god! Like I get the inspiration, and I'm like, if it's half as bad as this dude is, like the absolute friggin' worst. I am ready to run through a wall for Sterling Steel.
yeah, yeah, and it's funny because you can kind of get a sense of who he's sort of like loosely basing some of these characters off of, which is great. So a lot of fun there for Wrestle Heist. But there's what, 1, 2, 3 books we want to discuss. So I rattle off a ton of bangers, and those aren't even the books that we are discussing. Let me kick things off here
Please.
with Exquisite Corpses. Issue 8. Like, this is a series, Nicholas, that you and I have raved about from the first issue, and what's not to rave about, right? It's James Tynion and a different writer, each issue. Michael Walsh's art is been absolutely outstanding. Adam Gorham also contributed to art on this. But issue 8 is James Tynion and Pornstack Pachotti. And man, like where this series has been going, like we're getting to a crescendo here, right? Like this book was off the rails from the first issue, and you knew shit was going to hit the fan right from the get go. Well, it's really hitting the fan now, right? And what I loved about this issue is that like we actually had a real moment, right, with between two characters,
Mm,
one of which is very much you know a stone cold killer in this game, but you get bonding between two unlikely characters, and a loose plan is now starting to be formed on how to sort of turn the tides on what's been going on. And then amidst that, you've got just sheer chaos with various other killers who were already unhinged becoming even more so. And Walsh's art in this, and Gorham's art, was just next level. This has been a pretty gory series. This was a very gory issue. And
yes.
there's a few panels in particular that just spring right to mind where I go, ugh, ugh, makes my winter vomiting disease, you seem like, apple pie. you know.
Mm.
This was an excellent issue. This is an excellent series. And if you haven't been reading it, I highly recommend doing so. But this issue in particular was something else.
Like unhinged. Like you talked about how it's
Mm.
been like insane from the jump, but like this issue was like it really just went absolutely bonkers. And there's one character who's been around for a bit that's been interesting, but I'm also like, I want to see you go off. Like, what's it gonna take? And then it's like, oh, I guess we now know. I mean, everybody has a breaking point. The first few pages of this thing are just in the action is just absolutely insane. But I love to your point of what you're talking about with like the scheming and different things. Like I love how this insane action is awesome, but it's also like kind of a footnote because you have this major twist that happens in this issue later on. And it's like, okay, like a lot happened here, but a hell of a lot more is going to happen in the ensuing issues because this is a pretty major development that happened both like in the game and outside of it.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent stuff. All
All
right.
right,
What do we have next, Nicholas?
I'm going to take us to, for me, the book of the week. And I don't bring that up necessarily often because there's so many good books and I don't want to have to pick between that stuff. It's art and whatever. I'm here for just all the good stuff. And then if it's not good, then we just whatever, we move on. But Kieran Gillen, I mean, it's no secret like how we both are massive fans of his work. We had a chance to talk with him before Die made its return with Die Loaded, and I'm so glad that we got to chat with him. And I think whenever this story ends, or this round of Die ends, we need to check in with him again so we can delve into some spoilers because him and Stephanie Hans are just doing like they're doing amazing work. And honestly, Joe, the first issue was great, and that was a lot to bring us back into Die. That's not an easy task at all after like, a little bit of time, a level of finality. But we get to this issue and I was like, this is a perfect representation of Die. Sprawling, captivating, unforgiving beauty. Plus the occasional wink and a nod. There's stuff that happens later on and in the issue, and I'm just like, I like this. I like that. I didn't see it coming, and it makes perfect fucking sense. And on top of all that, I love Molly's style. They are an
Mm.
absolute killer, and it's just like it in the we have high expectations for Stephanie Hahn's art, as everybody should, because she's just an amazing artist. But one thing that I'm not always like, oh, we're gonna get from her in an issue is some action. Like I expect chills, like both from like horror or from beauty. But then like when we get some action thrown in the mix, I was like, okay, like this. I don't think this is a crazy take. This is the best action that she's given us in Die so far. Period. In this issue.
I mean, I've got to go back and reread the first, the first volume.
But at least it doesn't sound like a crazy take.
No, because it really is next level, and it stands out for sure because there's a lot of just great movement in the art, which can't be easy for her because her art style is very intricate, and
Mhm.
so to pull that off, it really stands out, and the colors in this issue too are outstanding.
Yeah, I absolutely love this issue. Like seriously, I mean that completely. Like this is a great representation of Die. This
Yeah,
this comic right here. This is one of my favorite single issues that we've gotten from this series. But in the
yeah,
original series.
yeah. I mean, it was excellent, for sure. Lastly, to sort of round things out, Nicholas, is a book that we're going to talk about here, and that is Everything Dead and Dying, issue 4, written by Tate Bromble with art by Jacob Phillips. And
Hmm.
like, did you read this issue?
Angst personified.
Let me tell you something. Like the thing that I think I've enjoyed most about the series, and I believe we sort of talked about it when issue 1 came out. It's just like how it's sort of flipping the zombie sort of genre on its head, right? And really attacking it from a different angle. And throughout, what I've really connected to the most was just, you know, the, the main character and his sort of unwavering commitment to his family, right? Even though,
Yeah. Even
you
though.
know, even though they're zombies, but even just to the community as a whole. Now, like issues
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3, right? We've got a sense of what he's sort of been doing, but it's been mostly revolved around his family, right? And in this issue in particular, there's some scenes where we have some real sacks of shit characters here. One in
Oh,
particular,
yeah.
and absolutely heartless, absolutely gutless. Now, can I see it from her point of view? Yes.
Mhm.
Right. But I've spent so much time with our main character that I see this world through their point of view. And so like you just get a greater sense of just like this guy's hanging on by a thread. Right.
Mhm.
And I think that is something that we can all relate to in some aspects in certain parts of our lives, maybe at one point or another. So, like, his world just being out, he was just minding his own goddamn business, right? And then these fucking hillbillies show up and take everything away from him. Was it perfect? No, but he had found sort of peace with it. So, like, there's a connection there that I've made. All the while, this is a fucking zombie book, man. It's a horror book, and Phillips, art is just unmatched, when it comes to telling these types of stories, and so this issue was really had a little bit of everything, right? Like you kind of went through a wave of emotions, and so that's
Mhm.
outside of it being a really awesome zombie horror book. I think there is something that people can connect to that really sort of separates this book out from just every other sort of run of the mill zombie Walking Dead adjacent sort of story. So, if you love zombie books, if you love horror books, you haven't been reading this, do it. It's excellent.
Yeah, this issue, on top of like providing a ton of anxiety, like things are coming to a head, and it's only going to escalate in the following issue for sure. But what you're talking about in general about what Tate Brumble has done from a writing standpoint, more than anything, he's just showing like perspective matters. Like that, the vantage point of an individual is important to take into consideration. And like you said, like dude's not hurting anybody. Yeah, he's probably not doing a thing he should do, but like he didn't do this to them, and he's doing everything to take care of them. And he's also not trying to involve any other people. So like as long as you just leave him alone and kind of doing his thing, he's doing something odd, but he's not doing anything wrong necessarily. Um but if in most other stories it would be uh like Walking Dead is a great example because like you legitimately have that with Herschel, like more or less. Like it's just you cannot do that. That is not like that seems very weird and very dangerous, and it needs to be addressed. And it's good that it was addressed. But in this case, it's like leave the guy alone. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, he's a very scarred and flawed individual, and
very much.
he's hanging on by a thread. But there's something poetic in that, and
Yeah,
I
the
think there's
flashbacks have
something
been really good.
yeah, and there's something relatable there. So, um, yeah, everything dead and dying. Excellent, excellent series.
The flashbacks to that end, like not always like when done right, flashbacks are great. In whether it's comics or we're talking about any visual medium. Like when done right, they're great. But I also think they can be an easy crutch.
Mhm.
And if in not and it's like okay, like we got the information from this, whatever, moving on. But when they're done well, it's really impactful. And I think with this, it's gotten more and more impactful as the series gone along. And this issue in particular was like, damn man, that really freaking hurt. That
Mm.
sucks. So yeah, it was like just an outstanding week for Image, a great week for Mad Cave, and in general, just another great week for comics fans because a lot of stuff to pick through. All right, that is going to do it for us this week. Reminder for everybody: we do have the Friarside.
Keep reading.
I got to tell people about the interview.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Keep listening.
We have the Friarside chat with Joel Mulvey that is going to be dropping on the 19th, not to timestamp things, December 19th. So that is going to be the Friday ahead of Christmas Eve and Christmas. Following that, we'll be just doing what's new ahead of Christmas because Joe and I both celebrate. So we're just going to be talking about the releases that week. And then to round things out in December, we are going to have the floppies. May or may not have something else. I don't know. But we will certainly have the floppies. That is this year's winners for you guys, the comics winners for us, best comics, best writer, artist, you name it. We're going to be talking about all that kind of stuff at the end of the year just to round things out and kick off award season for everybody. You're welcome. But until next week, Joe.
Keep reading.
Hey, if you didn't fucking say it this time, I was gonna lose it.